Want to know how to help a ODD or a DMDD child naturally? We're going to talk about that today by understanding more how your child thinks and sees the world. Welcome to the Learn to Speak Kid podcast. We are Bonnie and
Thomas Liotta.
And we help parents transform the most disruptive and defiant child behavior and mood disorders without mind-altering medication, years of therapy, or any type of harsh punishment. And today we're talking about oppositional, defiant disorder, and DMDD, which is dysregulated mood disorder or something. Call it whatever you want. You know, there's IED. I had a mom say my child was just diagnosed with UMD. I'm like, what's UMD? Unidentified mood disorder. All right. So we're not making light of this. I know that what you're experiencing is for real, but the solutions behind it so far have not. And when you introduced me, Tom, to this particular subject today, helping me see that my children weren't born like spiders with spiderweb 101 making abilities. That was a huge aha moment for me because my youngest child was then the age of 6 and you had taught him how to make his own juice.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I never even thought to teach him how to make his own juice. And he actually looked so happy and so proud of himself in that moment. Like, I will always remember that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, he had a smile on his face like the cat that ate the canary.
Yeah. So let's talk about this because parents are being taught that from the moment their child is born, or maybe like when their child gets to be 1 or 2 and they start grabbing things, they're being taught to redirect the child from the hot burner or the candle. They're being taught to correct behavior constantly in the moment. They're being taught to use some sort of negative discipline or negative consequence for negative child behavior. And what I've learned through all of this is that if there's only one thing that we could ever promise you, mom or dad, is that your child's always going to do something you don't like. And the reason why is because they're children and they were born with zero idea of how the world works. They don't know how to use their manners or how to sit straight up in a chair or how to even clean up their room or put laundry into a laundry basket unless we actually proactively take the time to show them.
Yeah, so insightful, Bonnie. And, you know, when you start to take a moment just to think that, can a kid actually see the world from your perspective? And when you can go, wait a minute, that would never happen. They don't know what it means to be responsible for a house or drive a car or any of these things. They're just in a world of like, oh, everything's around. And so, but the coolest part is that you could go back and see it from your kid's perspective, false or true.
Yes.
And this should be an aha moment.
I don't know what happens when we become adults. Like unless we consciously think about, can I remember what it was like to be 2 or 5? It's like we become adults and the seriousness of the world takes over and we start seeing everything as being imperfect and we start looking at all the problems of the world. But when you are a child and you're looking out, and you've never seen a butterfly before or a balloon, or you've never been to a restaurant and you're looking around and you're so like, I don't know, in awe at this world around you and your parents are going, hey, come over here, be quiet, sit there, shh, that kind of thing. It's like really debilitating.
Well, yeah, because adults, by definition, have been programmed to go, hey, guess what? Playtime's over. It's time to grow up and be responsible.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you make that shift, you've lost that loving feeling.
True. And then we lose the loving feeling on our kids. Actually, when I started reading Corinthians chapter 13, and I talked about it in the last episode too, it's like, why are you telling me to read Corinthians chapter 13? Oh, because love is patient and kind. And I had one of our clients go, how come it's so hard to be patient with our husbands? I don't know why that is. But, you know, when you think about it, it's like, kids are loving and kind. They're born that way. But as parents, we love our kids, right? More than anybody else in the whole world. But we also treat them worse than we treat anybody. Come here. Stop it. Sit down. You're embarrassing me. Yeah. How many times I have to tell you, we would never speak to our best friend this way.
No.
So,
And so anybody out there has the same kind of message, and they might be saying it in their own unique way. But one time when I first heard Wayne Dyer say, hey, we were born magnificent, perfect in every way, but we've been conditioned into mediocrity. And so if that kind of gives you an idea of like, oh, that kind of explains it. Why would I choose it? It just happened. And so if you go into the bathroom or you go into the kitchen and you find your little 2-year-old, we have a granddaughter now of Harley Faith who's right around that age of 1 to 2. And this is about a year and a half ago. And guess what she got into? She monkey see, monkey do. I'm giving you a hint. She could learn to open up a cupboard because, well, what you do, I can do, right? That's a classical game. But inside there was this little box called sandwich bags.
Yeah.
And, well, every parent out there would be like, no, 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 no. And then they would bring her Fisher Price toy or whatever it is. You can play with this, but not this.
Yeah, redirect.
And what would we do? And I'm going to share this with you right now. Adult would say no, but when you learn to speak kid, you're like, oh, I know this game.
Mm-hmm.
And what did she do?
Out.
She started doing this.
Out.
And I just validated. And what did it sound like?
Out. Out. $150.
Right? I'm validating it out. And she's just going. And there's like 500 in a bag. She'll be there for like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you do, be like, oh, I know this game. She does out. This is called the game of opposites between 0 to 2.
Yeah.
This is how we actually introduce life skills.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's doing out, does she know in?
Mm-hmm.
Short answer is no. Okay. I grab it and go in the box.
Mm-hmm.
She does out of the box. In the box. Now, are we learning a life skill? Short answer is yes.
Yeah.
Are we in a negative tone? Do we think something that we don't like? No. Do we have it like, God, no, it's another damn mess I got to clean up. Fake smile. There's no negative emotion or negative thought.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, they learned what is called a life cycle, called out, in, out, in. And what she knew how to do that, I could pull it out. And guess who picked it up and put it in the box?
Yeah, the baby did.
Whose idea was it? I forced her to, or did she do it through play?
Yeah.
And that's what's the difference between parents' brain versus kids' brain.
And I love that so much because, you know, when you have a child with DMDD or any other disorder, it starts at the age of 1 to 2. It doesn't start at 15. And we know this to be true. So that's why it's really great example to go all the way back to 2. But let's say that now this is great. I'm a mom. I have a 14-year-old. And the 14-year-old's now been medicated and seeing a therapist for 9 or 10 years. It's like, okay, what do we do now? And I'm going to say, because we've worked with hundreds of families with children just like that. And we bring them back to the 2 to 4 box.
Mm-hmm.
We bring them back and we begin to validate. We begin to, well, let me just put it this way. If you're heading down the track on a train at 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction of negativity and everything's chaos and arguing and you're a mom locked in the bathroom because you're scared of your kid, that's not godly. That's not divine living. That's not right. God did not make you to be that mom, and he didn't make your child to be that child. In fact, in Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33, it clearly says that God is not a God of disorder or confusion, but one of peace, which tells me that if we're living the opposite of peace, we're living the opposite of a divine life. Does this make sense? Share with me in the comments. Like, what are your thoughts on this? So we take our 14-year-olds. Well, first of all, we teach our parents to take the foot off the gas of that train. You know, stop with the redirecting, the dictating, the punishments, the consequences, and just start seeing your teenager, your school-age kid, your 22-year-old living in your basement. Start seeing them as a human being through loving, accepting eyes. Start seeing that maybe your mother, although you've done the best you can, I did the best I could. We're great people. We're not failing our kids, but we learned some things that caused us to make some mistakes. And that's going to be your first step in the first phase of what we call positive transformation, the first phase is the healing phase. We have to have some healing.
Yeah.
And so we can go back to the box of 2 to 4. What life skills do my children need to learn? Now, we only have a few minutes left in this episode. So do you remember when we went over to Melanie's house back in the day and we asked her what she wanted as a goal for that day?
Yeah, she just wanted one quiet, peaceful dinner with her kids sitting properly in the chairs.
Right. She said that her entire life of being a mother, they'd never been able to enjoy dinner together. And you grabbed the chair. Now, the kids were like 4, 6, and 13.
Correct.
All dealing with different mental health issues. And just share what you did with the chair.
Yeah. So the kids came into the living room, and once again, they're jumping around on the chair, or not chairs, but the sofas and whatever. And we just put the chair right here. And I sat in the chair, feet on the floor, right? Hands in your lap, or just back straight.
Yeah.
And we just played monkey see, monkey do. I was like, this is what it looks like to sit in a chair. And I got a question for you. Can everybody see me? And they're like, yeah. Who can do like this? Sit just like this. And then I think Sebastian was the first one to come up because the youngest one was still clinging on mom like, monkey see, or just hanging on her like a toy. And so he came in and he could sit, and he did. He was able to do it because he was the oldest one. He picked it up pretty quick. And I said, that's what it looks like to sit at the table tonight. And so next one, Mackenzie, he was able to, I want to turn. So he got in a chair and he could demonstrate that. And so being able to show them versus tell them is the whole different world of expecting a kid to see the adult world through words. But if you can go back to their world and play monkey see, monkey do and show them, now they know what you're saying. So you don't sound like the Peanuts teacher.
I love that. I love that. So what we're trying to say is that your kids see the world through different lenses than you do. They are driven by a curious nature. They want to touch, feel, do everything that you do. And so, one thing coming to mind is the dad who his kid touched the thermostat and he was like, stop touching the thermostat. But then what does dad do? Dad touches the thermostat. So instead of teaching the kid where to always have the thermostat, the kid doesn't know. The kid's monkey see, monkey do. So what huge awareness, Tom, if you want your child to do, be, or have something, that we must take the time to actually show them through role play. You grabbed the chair, you showed each one of them, 4, 6, and 13, how to sit properly in a chair. And what was so amazing is before dinner, you were like, who wants to do self-control training? That's where you stand with your hands at your side and you just stand there quiet like a statue. Do you want 1 or 2 minutes? And Mackenzie, he was the little ODD kid, goes, I want to do 10 minutes. And so what I'm saying here is your kids want to impress you. They want to please you. They are capable of amazing things when you understand kids' brain versus parents' brain. And when we can learn to be more childlike instead of expecting them to rise up and be more adult-like. So if you got anything from this episode, you feel like there's hope that there might be another way, or there was something we said that made you go, oh, wow, I'm seeing things differently as a parent, make sure to let us know in the comments. Click like on our video. Help us get the message out. God is a divine, perfectly orchestrated, amazing God. His goal for us is to live in more joy and peace and harmony and love. And with all that being said,
until we meet again,
here's to our parenting success.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.